Hello, it's Wogawell and I'm here with another video on Red Dead Redemption 2. This video is going to be about tips and tricks that you guys can use in your gameplay during Red Dead Redemption 2. Some of which you might have already heard about, others maybe not. I've got some interesting ones on fast travel, so stay tuned for those. And make sure you leave a like and subscribe down below for the next tips and tricks videos, because I'll be doing these regularly from here on. So the first tip, some of you might already know about, some might not, but it's regarding fast travel. After buying the upgrade, I remember when I first bought the upgrade, I didn't know where fast travel was. It's right here, behind Mr. Morgan's little shack here. You have to buy the upgrade, of course, but when I bought it, I spent too long trying to figure out where this thing was. It had no indicator, but you can actually fast travel to a number of spots, ones you've discovered on the map using this. So check this out. You can, obviously you need to check the map yourself for reference, but you can actually fast travel, which is really useful, and your horse will come with you, of course. Now, the way you get this is you need to go back down here, you need to unlock the ledger, of course. Don't tell me about spoilers, because it's really early on in the game when you get the ledger. But you open up the ledger, and you skip through all the bits where I've donated millions of things. And you'll find a part near the end with lodging here. So I don't think I can check the old ones, but you need to have the first things first, I believe. It allows fast travel. No, next in line, that's the one. So you need next in line, which is $260. It allows you to fast travel. Now, that's one way of fast traveling in this game. There's another way I wouldn't call it fast traveling, but we'll call it auto travel, which some of you might not know about. So on to the next tip. So here we are with tip number 2. This one's, as I said before, auto travel, I would call it. So if you open up your map while you're on your horse, I don't know if this works on foot, but open up your map when you're on your horse, and pick somewhere, anywhere at all, literally anywhere that has a road that you can ride to. Let's say Valentine. We'll use Valentine for example. So we want to go to the saloon in Valentine. Put a waypoint on the road there, and what you do is you turn on cinematic camera by pressing in the PS button. I'm not sure what it is in the Xbox. Pressing the PS button, you get your cinematic camera. Now, early on in the game, it does kind of brush over the ability to do this, but it doesn't touch on it after that at all, really, from my knowledge. But if you start running with your horse, with the cinematic camera on, and then let go, I'm not touching anything right now, your horse will go to the waypoint that you've outlined. No matter where it is on the map, it will walk all the way there. So you can put your controller down, go make a cup of coffee or whatever you want to do. See, your horse will just go to where you want to go. Obviously, if you're not, I think there's something happening here. We're going to skip over that. Let's just go around that. But if you, obviously, your horse can still get a bit iffy about predators, so you can still cool it down and calm it down while on it. You can speed it up by using X if you want, but it's not necessary. I wouldn't recommend leaving it on its own, obviously, but it's an excellent method of getting around, because fast traveling in this game, like you saw in the last tip, pelts works when you're hunting, it works when you're doing, which is excellent. This thing, when I figured this out, it's all I've been doing. I haven't really ridden my horse that much by myself anymore, because I just get my horse to do it by myself. So this one was one of my most important ones, and ones I really wanted to share with you. So we're on to the next tip after this, tip number 3. For my next tip, have you ever been in a position where one space just isn't enough? I've got something on the back of my horse here, and I've also got a perfect deer pelt or a perfect elk pelt that I need to bring back. One of the things you can do is you wait for someone suspecting victims over here. You whip out your gun, preferably not to engage straight away, but you just board one of their horses. Kill the other guy if you have to. Like so. There's better ways of doing this. You don't need to be, you can be neutral about it and find a wild horse, but this works too. So if you put your weapons away, obviously calm down the horse. Call your horse over. I think she's ignoring me. And you can actually put the, not the stranger, we want the pelt. You can actually put the pelt on the back of the other horse, like so, jump on this horse, and now you can bring both horses. So you can fill this horse up, fill the other horse up, and off you go. You have basically 2 full horse worths of loot to sell. So I can bring this down to my friend down here. Gotta obviously be careful. You bring this down to the trapper. And you can sell your pelts and sell your meat. It's one of the things I learned from being out in the wilderness a lot and finding something perfect and then finding something else perfect on the way back. I figured I can just rob someone else's horse and make use of their space as well, which is nice. So that's tip number 3. Another kind of obvious one is setting up camp. So if you go to your mouse wheel, your item mouse wheel, you can see that you can create camp. It gives you a place to rest in the wilderness, release L1 to use. So this allows you to create a camp anywhere, which is nice. And you can cook and you can create craft items and you can rest. So if you're stuck out in the wilderness, really bad weather, or you're looking for food or whatever, it's a good thing to do. It's a useful tool to have. So you have a campfire, you create it there. There's another way of doing it, just an interesting addition. If you close down the camp, what you can actually do is you can rest by holding triangle like this, and you can craft like this as well. Obviously you can't cook food and things because you need the fire camp to be going, but you can do basic crafting, like I believe ammo and arrows work fine. And you can also set up camp from here too, so it's just a little shortcut to get the camp going. Just a little one that I thought I'd add in there. The last tip for today is one more along the lines of ease of access, or making the game easier for certain people. So within Red Dead Redemption 2, there are a lot of quick time events, even not in missions, like enemies attacking you, wolves attacking you. You can actually make that easier. If you go into your settings, and you go to controls. Now you've got all your basic stuff going on here. I'm a noob, so I use, the assisted aiming and all that stuff. But if you go down to the very bottom and go to accessibility, you can actually toggle to run, hold to run, which allows you to run by toggle, so your character will continuously run as opposed to continuously holding to run, which is nice. But there's also this option here called tap assist. So you can turn your tap assist on 4 times or just hold. So any QuickTime event that requires you to tap, you can actually just hold instead, which makes things a lot easier. I don't use it, I like the QuickTime events. And then you have tap to hold delay, which changes the delay in between what is registered as a tap and what's registered as a hold. So if you turn this up all the way, the game will register nearly every button press as a tap until you hold it for a specific amount of time. So this is just a little tip for some people who don't like dealing with the QuickTime events or found them a bit frustrating, because I know in some areas, some aspects can be a bit frustrating, but this does eliminate that and makes the game far more cinematic if that's the approach you want to go for. So yeah, that's the 5 tips for today. I've got tons more that I need to go through. Obviously a lot of these you already know, and a lot of these are quite obvious, but I'm going to go through them step by step. And if you enjoy this, obviously leave a like and subscribe, and if you leave a comment in the comments below for any ideas you have yourself. And that's pretty much it for today, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.